Welcome to Fantasy Football. Football is thicker than blood. Week 13. 13. We have the first ever multiple person Jake Bajo show broadcast show. Phil, a brother, and it's only fitting that it's two of my brothers, Joe and Phil. Joe, would you let Phil talk about how well he's doing today? Phil, how are you doing?
What was that? You kind of...
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh. Phil, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Stressed. How about you guys?
Joe, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Well, we're very excited. Joe, obviously, you have secured a playoff spot. Phil, you have not. You made some big... You tried managing it around it towards the end of the season, but really couldn't get around not having Le'Veon, losing those first couple weeks.
Credit for the end of the season is kind of rude, because I've been trying the whole season.
Yeah. Joe obviously securing a playoff spot, but on a 6-game losing streak, how are you feeling going into the playoffs?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lively as always.
What?
Lively as always.
No, yeah, I feel fine. I'm not really that worried about it.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say most of your play calls are? Do you already have your 15 first 15 plays? You look like a head coach right now.
No, I don't really believe in that. I think you have to evaluate each situation and decide the best play from there. And I think the scripting stuff it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I concur.
Unless you're super good, then I guess it's fine because it doesn't even matter.
Sure. Well, we have, obviously, our 4 teams out are going to be Sean Romano, Team Bad Patty, C-Mac Attack, and Yogurt Merch. 3 from the Athletes minus Gym division. Clearly the less superior division. Can I have a Snapple too? And then we got Sean and my teams at the top playing for the first seed this week, as well as we might also have Sean break the points record that Joe set just a couple of years ago at 1390. He just needs 105 points. Seems very doable on a 4-game win streak. We got Dad Bods in second in the Bunch of Lovers division. We are whose record?
What's the points record?
With 1390.
So you broke it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's been widespread, Joe. I've been on that pace for a while.
I don't really care,
Yeah, I broke it, with the game left to play. Phil, speaking as an outsider looking in, who would you say are some of the more dangerous teams coming to the playoffs and some teams you probably aren't going to see in the finals?
You cut out there again. What did you say?
Speaking as an outsider, who would you say is some of the more dangerous teams going into the playoffs, and and then which teams are probably we're less likely to see in the championship?
I think Uncle Pat is not going to be a championship team. I will say this because Leonard Fournette is out for 2 games for punching someone.
1 game.
Joe Romano, I've never been a fan of. I've said this from, I think you and me had this talk, that he's not the playoff caliber team. Joe Ventus, 6 losses in a row. Doesn't seem like he cares. If I were to say a championship, we're in line. It would probably be maybe Jake against Sean.
Okay. It's like a phase. The 2 best teams are going to make the championship.
Joe, move the mic away from your face.
What kind of pick is that?
Joe, move the mic away from your face.
You want me to be bold?
Yeah.
Okay, or don't.
Has the best team ever won the championship?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many times? 1 or 2?
1 time.
Out of 9 years?
Do you know who it was?
Jake.
Yeah, it was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last seed has won it a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely 1-1 is the last seed, I think.
Yeah, his first year. Well, let's get into last week's recap real quick, and then we'll talk about maybe some keepers and then go into this week and playoff scenarios and whatnot. Tony, start the music. Jake and Bake completely eliminates C-Mac Attack's chances of making the playoffs, dominating him 104-68 with his backups in. Joe Ventus loses a 6th straight to Cole, McGann, Bell, and Christian McCaffrey, 118-99. Joe should have started Lamar Miller. Public enemy on a route against Team Bad Patty. He's not even trying anymore. Duke of Berkshire over Birch Lake, Michigan, Vice Fleet, 129-79. Sean continues dominating as he's heading into the playoffs at full speed. Scottsdale Dadbods inches one out over Sean Romano, 90-89. Phil just can't put it together. It's always 1 or 2 points this year. And then El Jim routing 110-72. I don't really know who's on El Jim's team that is good, but he continues to put up points. Woo! Okay. So, obviously, we have been looking at the standings. Joe Ventus, you have secured the playoffs, but you are just at the bottom there. We got Cole coming in hot. He has been scoring a lot recently. We got El Jim, kind of a sneaky team, 12-60. He didn't draft his team. And if you look at his team, he doesn't even have many top 10 players on his roster.
Is that true?
Yep. He's got a couple, I think it's Rams defense and Jared Goff. Thanks for doing your research, guys.
I'm clicking.
And, I mean, we got Cole's team who's obviously been doing well. Dad Bods is actually kind of one of the lower scoring teams that's in this playoffs. He's
got Zeke, too.
What?
He's got Zeke, who's top 10.
Oh, yeah, Zeke. Well,
He's got Nick Chubb, who, like, if he started all season, would definitely be top 10.
Yeah.
AJ Green's been sort of injured. He'd probably be close.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but injuries. You got Dad Bods, who's obviously has got 2 wide receivers, 2 dominant wide receivers, a decent quarterback, and then he's got Royce Freeman, and his other running back is the backup on Denver. It is Royce Freeman, and then Peyton Barber is his other running back. So, Tony coming in kind of quiet, less talked about, but at an 8-4. As one of the better records coming in. We could see a mixed match of lots of things, though. I mean, Joe Ventus could beat Joe Romano and jump up some spots. Birch, Michigan, Vice Fleet might move up a spot. I believe he's playing Uncle Joe, so probably a simple win. Joe, if you had to play one team in the playoffs, who are you looking for first round?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. I'd play you.
Okay.
Like you said, you had a lot of bad matchups in the first round of the playoffs. It's the best when the Rams come to Chicago, right?
Yep.
So that's a Sunday night game. So, I mean, who knows how that'll show up. Who's Kansas City playing that week?
Baltimore.
Yeah, that could be fine. I don't know. There's like 4 teams that I think are like kind of worse than mine. So I wouldn't mind playing any of them.
Four teams being.
Bulletin Board, Birch Lake, El Jim, and Public Enemy.
Although you did just lose to Bulletin Board.
Yeah, I am not worried about it.
I beat Bulletin Board.
What'd you say, Phil?
I beat Bulletin Board.
Oh, cool.
I guess he is the number one. He's got the intangibles, right? Number 1 defense, number 1 kicker. I guess that's his big thing. But I don't know. I feel like head-to-head, I'm kind of better than him.
Yeah. I mean, you got that strong matchup. We'll obviously go into...
Yeah, so I'm not really worried about any of them. Like I said, it's about your matchup. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just... I guess you would be the hardest team, but it doesn't matter, really. Mm-hmm. Just you got to beat everyone at some point, right?
And Phil, you are going into the losers bracket, the first year where we are playing somewhat of a tournament style for that first overall draft pick.
Oh, yeah.
And so just to clarify the rules, what we are doing this year, I don't believe there was any set in stone to my understanding, and if anybody has any opposition, please let me know. But to my understanding, we were going to do week 1. It's essentially a 2-week playoffs total. So there's 4 teams that don't make the playoffs. the first week of playoffs that everybody else is playing real games that actually matter. The 4 teams that didn't, 2 and 2 face off, and then it's like a bracket. So the winner of those 2 play in week 2 of the playoffs, and whoever wins that, and then the other 2 teams will play in the 3rd and 4th place game, and then whatever that finishing is after week 2 of the playoffs is going to be your standings for where you're going to get your draft pick. So week 3 of the playoffs means nothing if you are out of the playoffs. That's the clarification. But Phil, any nerves going in? I mean, you definitely could be a favorite to win the first overall pick, win the NIT.
Well, here's the thing: is people have said that my team is a playoff caliber team. It all came down to luck.
No one says that. No one said that. Who said that?
John says that.
Okay. Well, you got 3 wins.
If he played my team in the playoffs, he would be afraid.
You're the 11th ranked team. Second year.
I also have the second most points scored against me.
Okay. I mean, that happens to a lot of teams that don't win only 2 games.
Points scored against you, and you're 6-6. You've lost 6 in a row, and you've had the least points scored against you.
You also have the 3rd most points against you. Not the 2nd.
But usually those teams end up making the playoffs anyway. Your team was just booty for a long time.
Well, yeah, it's hard to say, Phil.
Knows I got screwed over.
Phil,
that's just a bad pick. That's management.
Yeah, maybe. Phil, it's hard to say. You do have the 2nd least amount of points for. Obviously, a tough situation with Le'Veon.
Late.
I'll say you're the favorite to win the losers bracket. I'll say that. How about that, buddy?
Okay.
Real quick, I know that one thing that is important, we saw Colin pick up Cooper Kupp, is the keepers. I think I'm going to have a segment with Sean, so I'll make a little time now to go to Sean to talk about keepers, and then we'll be right back. You definitely something you got to start thinking about now, and that's where dynasties are made. Obviously, Cole getting Odell this year. Will he keep him? Will he not? Joe's probably going to keep Travis Kelce for the 7th year in a row. And
I think this would be my 4th.
Okay.
That's a pretty good run at tight end, isn't it?
Sure.
I'd have to give him for a 3rd. I don't think I'll do it.
How many championships has he brought you?
What's that?
How many championships has he brought you?
0.
Yes. Okay.
You should know that.
Yeah, I do. And then obviously we do have people like Birch Lake, Michigan Vice. Could we crown a new? Yeah, we could crown 4 new champions this year. Birch Lake, Michigan Vice Fleet, Bulletin Board Material, Joventus FC, and Scottsdale Dad Bods, all seeking their first ever championship this year. Yet to win one, and then obviously El Jim looking for his 3rd. We can't let that happen because the man didn't even draft his team. But let's get into some matchups, huh? Game 1, right off the bat, we got Jake and Bake versus Duke of Berkshire. In the battle for first place, not that it necessarily matters.
It's not President's Trophy.
Yeah, President's Trophy. It's going to be a close one. Sean's team is hot. Obviously, Saquon is playing Chicago, though, so I kind of like that, and hopefully they can shut him down. Andrew Luck versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been struggling. DeAndre versus Cleveland. I like my matchups more here, and I'm going to go with my team. I like Mahomes against Oakland. I like Gurley against Detroit. And then, I have half the Minnesota roster on my team. And I'm not even starting Dalvin Cook yet, but I'm taking my team.
Yeah, I think you have the better matchups. I mean, Mark Ingram's playing Dallas. Their defense is solid. Saquon's playing Chicago. They're solid. I think you're probably the favorite.
And Phil, thoughts?
I also think that you're the favorite because after I played you, when James Conner and Todd Gurley both had bad games, you had Patrick Mahomes throw 6 touchdowns against the Rams. So I'm in it for you because you always have more backup than Sean has.
Yeah, even looking at the bench,
that doesn't really make sense.
If you want to go into depth, I mean, he's got Le'Veon.
Your team sucks.
Collins. I mean, I don't know. I'm debating starting Eckler just because Gordon isn't playing this week, which is a perfect transition into Joventus FC versus Public Enemy number 1. He does have Tyreek Hill back this week, who will likely shred Oakland. But not
I
having
mean, it's one of those things with it's like 'cause Oakland's so bad. It's like if they go up like 30 early, they're just gonna run it.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously Melvin Gordon being out hurts Joe. He's had unlucky running back, just bad luck this whole year. You got the Saints against Dallas, Joe. Your team's been struggling.
Oh, Joe Romano, yeah. He got really unlucky with running backs.
Yeah, Phil, if you had to predict a winner here, who's it going to be? Is Joe going to 7 straight, or is he finally ending this losing streak, going into the playoffs on a winning streak?
Joe's going into a 7-game losing streak.
Why come?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he has no receivers. He doesn't make good calls. And what is his team without Alvin Kamara and Brees?
Okay. What is my team without my players?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So Joe,
it's not really that true, right? So I got other players who score points.
Joe,
unlike you, who have no players who score points.
I have a lot of players.
So there's the problem. I mean, you didn't have any, and I traded you some to score points, and that's really worked out well.
The point
so taking my players has really worked out well for you scoring.
Okay, shh, we're done. You guys are on timeout. Both of you
didn't save you from your 3-win season.
Stop.
I've never had only 3 wins.
Okay, Joe Ventus. This year you have had you haven't been starting the right guys at the right times in this last 6 games. You had a little trouble there. Based on the last 3 weeks, it's looked like you lost the trade with Phil, and you've been hurting.
I don't really think that. If you look at it head to head, I don't think that. Right? Sure, I didn't start Lamar Miller this week, but had I, he had 25 points. Lindsey had like 15 or whatever this week. Last week he had like 15 or whatever. Well, I mean, since the trade, Lindsey has 17 and 24. I don't know what Miller has. His is, I think, like 10 and 20 something, right? So, I mean, they're averaging. Lindsey's averaging, 15? Okay. Miller's averaging, 16 or 17. So, head-to-head point average seems like I'm getting more points out of it.
Yeah, but, obviously losing wide receiver down. Stop talking. Stop talking.
I think I won the trade.
Stop talking. I will point to you from now on.
Well, I can't tell who you're pointing to.
I'll tell. Obviously Lamar Miller, you're finally going to start him over Goose. I think that if Joe Romano's going to lose a game, it's going to be this week. I only really like Tyreek Hill for him. Even if he puts up big numbers and Philip Rivers puts up big numbers, Breeze and Kamara have been so dominant. I'm taking you on a 1 win and going into the playoffs. Congrats, Joe. Hey, congrats, Joe.
I didn't get to give my thing. I think I didn't get to give mine. Phil gave his.
Yeah, but you don't get to give yours for this game.
Well, I think Joe Romano has the wide receiver edge by a lot. I think I have the running back edge by a lot. So I think it comes down to tight ends, running back, and intangibles and stuff. And I think I win there.
Next game, we got Birch Lake, Michigan Vice Fleet versus Team Bad Patty. Birch Lake's got Leonard Fournette suspended. Bad Patty's just been struggling all year. But if all of Bad Patty's players play here, I'm taking Bad Patty in an upset.
I'm taking Bad Patty.
Phil?
I mean, his team's almost better.
Phil?
Fournette's suspended too.
Phil?
I think it's just the Aaron Jones factor, which gives Uncle Pat the edge. But honestly, I agree with Joe when I say that their team is pretty even.
Wow, Roethlisberger is number 2 quarterback.
Yeah, he's had some big weeks.
Yeah, because he throws 58 times a game.
I guess he's got Michael Thomas too, so he's got some solid players.
Uncle Pat definitely does. But I'm taking Team Bad Patty in an upset, just like to see him go on a win streak going into the playoffs.
Get some momentum going to the losers bracket.
But it's likely that Bad Patty's gonna probably win it, or Birch Lake's gonna win this one pretty easily. C-Mac versus Dad Bods, another game that means not much, but I'm gonna take Tony in this one. I like his wide receivers obviously better. I don't think Collins' running back or wide receiver game is very strong. Kirk Cousins against New England, they just throw the ball 75 times a game. I don't really like Tony's running backs too much, but Peyton Barber has been pretty good the last couple of weeks, and so has Ben Ertz. And I'm liking dad bods going into this game. Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm taking dad bods.
Yeah.
Who's Ito Smith?
Yeah, Collins, obviously his team has struggled. He tried to make some trades. He'll probably put in Kareem Hunt, now that I think about it, for Ito Smith, and that'll be some big numbers for him against against Oakland, and Demaryius Thomas against Cleveland, Gronk against Minnesota. Now that I think about it, if Collins' whole full lineup is in, this is going to be a challenge for Tony. And
is it? Wait, who doesn't he have in?
Kareem Hunt.
That's it?
Demaryius Thomas and Gronk.
Okay, he's got Gronk and Demaryius Thomas. Okay, because as it looks right now, I mean, this looks like bad batting level. Doesn't it? It does look good right now.
It definitely doesn't. Kareem Hunt adds a huge, big factor, though. I mean, potentially 25 points, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, with those bench players.
Which is as much points as bad
This is what he started last week?
Yeah. It was rough. But I have been a dad bods guy since day one. I'm taking dad bods. Phil, your game against youngest are best.
I think it's a pick again.
Yeah, I don't think.
I didn't get to pick for
Phil, you don't get to go over this game. Phil, you don't get to go over this game. Joe, your thoughts?
Game.
Yeah, Joe, your thoughts on this game?
Which game?
Elgin versus Sean Romano.
Well, I think I got dad bots in the C-Mac.
I didn't ask about that one.
And then Sean Romano versus Elgin.
Yes.
Sean Romano was pretty dreadful. I think I got Elgin. This game doesn't really matter that much, does it?
No, it doesn't really mean much.
He can upgrade his tight end. I feel like Nick Vanette.
Maybe. I mean, not much anymore. He's probably gonna have AJ Green. Obviously, he's gonna have to drop somebody. So beware of who he might be dropping. But I'm guessing it's like Josh Reynolds.
Wait, who does he have to? He has to drop? Why?
Because AJ Green, you can't have AJ Green on IR.
He's starting AJ Green.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Oh man, he must have updated that since. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Who'd he drop? Live updates on the show.
What did he do? What did he drop?
He must have dropped a wide receiver. I am going to take Sean Romano in an upset. I mean, honestly, Sean Romano's team, it does not look that bad. I like Aaron Rodgers and to Devontae Adams. Juju's been hot. Marlon Mack has been part of that Colts offense that's been strong. Matt Breida probably won't do much this week. Browns defense might struggle, and obviously Rams and Zeke have been dominant for Dad. Dad's probably got the better team. Now that I think about it, I'm going with Elgin. I like Elgin. Nope, I'm going with my gut. Phil, Sean Romano. Over Elgin. Elgin, good taking L, but honestly, Elgin probably still a dangerous team in the playoffs and could put up that 65 points and is going to win. Last game of the week. Let's hear it. It doesn't matter for anything except for Cole Nate Gate, round 2. Round 2, baby. Woo! And I'm going to start up the drama soon.
Who won the first one?
Cole.
Is that when they got into the big thing in the group chat?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Yep. And Cole's team has obviously been one of the better teams. He's one of the higher point scorers, and Nate not even making the playoffs. Cole coming off strong, cocky as ever. What are your thoughts, Joe, coming into this game?
You just asked
if you look down at, I think Yogurt Merch, Nathan has a little more consistency in terms of the rankings, and Cole has a lot of has a couple bad ones, I guess, and a couple of good ones. Yeah, again, Cole just has the intangibles. That's probably really what got him to the playoffs, right? It's the Bears D and Will Lutz.
Potentially.
That's good for 24 points a game extra. I'm getting 9 a game for my kicker and D.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with bulletin board material for this one.
Phil.
I agree with Joe. I do think that having a good kicker and a good defense does get you a long way. It can get you far.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. He also has Deshaun Watson hot. Houston Texans are hot. Christian McCaffrey super hot.
He's good looking, yeah.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey's killer. He's had like 2 touchdowns last like 3 games.
Like the 5th best running back in the league.
Sure, now he's a very good running back.
So I'm taking bulletin board. That's team Hawaii, by the way.
I think I'm tripling up on bulletin board as well. McCaffrey's been dominant. And I just think Yogurt Merch, I mean, he's got some okay guys, but just not I don't think enough to line up with the scoring power behind bulletin board material. That's what we got. In Cole Nate Gate round 3, I'd like to see some drama go on. I'm probably going to start some stuff if I'm being honest. I mean, might as well. Last week of the playoffs, most of our matchups don't mean much for the playoffs. Obviously, our playoffs are set, so just going in.
Set 100%.
Yeah.
Like, there's some situation I get knocked out if I lose and Nathan wins.
No, you're good.
You're good. Yeah. Or are you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. If it happens, it happens.
Yep. Well, I don't have much else to say. I mean, it's just a week leading up, playoffs getting exciting, people looking for their first championship, some people looking for their second, one looking for their third. We have big weeks come. I mean, playoffs are going to be exciting. I'm excited for the playoff show. Guys, thank you for making history tonight. Anything you'd like to plug, comment? I'll let Joe, as the elder, go first.
Good luck to everybody this week on the playoffs, or the last week of the season, and then into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And Phil?
Good luck, everybody. I'm just excited for the football is thicker than blood NIT.
The first ever NIT.
Oh, can we call it that?
I think we should get a trophy or something.
I think we should get rings for winning the NIT.
I think there should be a losers bracket champion.
And the other question is, so last place. Is last place determined by who gets first in the NIT, or is last place determined by record? Because last place is technically supposed to get their team named every week by the champion.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Joe Romano didn't do it.
We didn't have like an error either. We didn't have a pope, or we should have a poll or something.
Yeah, every week Joe Romano never did anything to me.
He's been busy.
I was last place last year for sure.
You were?
Yeah.
Wow, you're bad.
Yeah.
I think I've made the playoffs every year. I've just never been to the championship. I think I've only been to the semis twice. Yeah, I have not done well past the regular season.
So looking for your first ever playoff championship, are you nervous coming in? Do you think you can do it this year?
I think I have the firepower to get me there, but a lot needs to go right. I'm not sure. If I still had Devontae Adams, I'd feel a lot better. But I traded that for a little bit more depth. So maybe I guess if I do win it, it'll probably be because I make the right picks from the bench and who to start and everything every week.
And you definitely have a lot of firepower. Problem is, lots of teams got some firepower this week or this year.
Right. I just have the Breeze Kamara thing.
Exactly. You saw it with Cole, and even sometimes the Breeze Kamara can put up 6 touchdowns in the first half, and you can still lose out in the end. Which is just I guess the byproduct of this year. I think it's been one of the more fun years in terms of scoring. Lots of fun. We got teams like Sean Romano barely scoring over 1,000, and then we got teams like Jake and Big scoring 1445 before week 13.
Phil,
Phil.
really looks like a coach with the headset too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. That's why I said you call him a coach.
Yeah.
Phil,
do I look like a coach now or like a DJ?
you look like Odell.
DJ. I do. Thank you.
Yeah. Phil, anything you like to plug? Comments, suggestions? Oh yeah, you said NIT. Well, that's all from me. Best of luck in week 13, everybody. Not that it matters a ton, but getting ready for playoffs is very, very exciting, and I cannot wait. Thank you guys for coming on, and see you guys next week.